Hi students, myself Anirban Bashurai Chaudhuri, Lab Assistant, Department of Chemistry, JS College of Engineering. You are watching the lab video. The paper name is Chemistry 1 Lab. This is for BTech first year students, and the paper code is CH191 and CH291.
Today I am going to discuss about the experiment called conductometric titration, which is a very interesting one, also a instrument based titration. So first of all, you know what is conductance, that is the reciprocal of the resistance. Okay, now electrolytic conductivity is a measure of the ability of a solution to carry the electric current. So the solution of electrolytes conduct an electric current by the migration of ion under the influence of an electric field. Okay. So the conductance of a solution depend upon the number of ions present in that solution and also their ionic mobility. That means if there is more ion and the mobility of the ion is much higher, then the conductance is increased, and if the mobility of the ion is lesser, that means the conductance of the solution will be decreased. Okay, so this is for the electrolytic solution. Now the unit of conductance, I think you know, as it is a reciprocal of resistance, so it is mho. The unit is called mho. Okay, or ohm inverse, that is mho, or we can determine it Siemens. Okay, so this is the unit of conductance. So whenever we doing the experiment conductometrically, we are taking this unit. Okay, now the aim of the experiment. Now the aim of the experiment is determination of the unknown strength of HCl by a standardized NaOH solution by conductometric method. That means we have to use a digital conductivity meter. Later I will show you. So we have to find out the strength of unknown HCl by a standardized NaOH solution. Now in that experiment we are taking unknown HCl. That means whenever we take a HCl as it is an electrolytic solution, after adding the distilled water in it in a beaker, so what happened? H plus HCl we dissociated with H plus and Cl minus, you know, and we are taking also NaOH from the burette. We are dropping the NaOH, so NaOH is also dissociated with like Na plus and OH minus. Now what happened whenever we add the NaOH to the HCl? So in the HCl, the mobility of it is the smallest ion, so the mobility of the H plus is higher. That's why the conductance of the solution is much high at the beginning. Okay, that means it will show in the conductivity meter. Whenever you take the reading, you see that the conductance of the solution initially is in higher range. Now whenever we add NaOH from the burette, what happened that Na plus is replaced by H plus. Na plus is replaced by H plus. Now Na plus is very less movable ion. It is very less movable ion. Okay, that's why the conductance start decreasing whenever we add the NaOH into the solution of HCl. Okay, why? Because Na plus is replaced by H plus. Now it is start decreasing. So further adding of NaOH, the conductance is showing in the conductivity meter. It is decreasing up to the end point. But the end point, what happened? That H plus and OH minus form H2O. When that H2O is formed, that means there is no H plus in the solution. Okay. But further we are adding NaOH. So there is no H plus for replacing Na plus. But for that OH minus ion, this is also a movable ion. For that OH minus ion, again after neutralization point, again it is start increasing. That means the conductance is start increasing. It will show the increasing conductance. Okay. So first of all, you will see whenever you will do the experiment, you will see that first of all the conductance of the solution is decreasing, and at the end point it is again start increasing. So you will get V-like shape of curve. Okay, this type of curve. I will explain it later. Okay. So this is the theoretical part, and now the procedure of the experiment is like this. We have to take the NaOH solution, that is standardized NaOH. We will provide you say 0.1 normal of NaOH, which should be taken in the burette, and in a plastic beaker we have to take 10 ml of unknown HCl. So 10 ml of unknown HCl in the beaker and in the burette NaOH. Okay, and so the apparatus required is burette, 1 pipette, 10 ml pipette, and wash bottle, 1 beaker, 1 plastic beaker, another is a glass beaker. So this is the procedure part and reagent and apparatus. Now you just watch the video carefully, and I will explain. I will show you the digital conductivity meter and show you how to actually perform the experiment in the laboratory. So keep watching. So students, why we are choosing the conductometric method? Instead of that, if you remember, if you see, it is actually normal acid-base method, strong acid versus strong base titration, because HCl versus NaOH titration. So very easily we can do it by normal acid-base method by taking one in the burette, another in the conical flask, and giving phenolphthalein indicator. So very easily we can do the experiment in normal acid-base method. So rather than doing that, why we are choosing the conductometric method? So there is a reason. So for accuracy we are doing the experiment. First of all, we are using a digital instrument called conductivity meter. Okay. Then after getting the value of conductance, we have to plot the graph. Graphically, we have to get the endpoint. Another important point, in the normal acid-base method, we have to use some indicators. But here, in that part, whenever we do the experiment, there is no indicator is used. So without taking any indicator, we are getting the endpoint. So there is a less chance of human error. Okay, so there is a less chance of human error, and for accuracy, we are getting through the graph we are getting the endpoint. So, and also a digital instrument is used. So for that reason, we are doing the experiment conductometrically. Okay. Now I am explaining, showing the digital conductivity meter. This is digital conductivity meter. Okay, this is the display, and there are 3 knobs. This is a temperature setting knob. Okay, this knob is conductivity. There, conductivity mode in 25 degrees centigrade, and also temperature knob is there. Okay, and this is the range mode. So there is like millisiemens, microsiemens, and Siemens are there. So we have to use the millisiemens. Okay. So this instrument is also very sensitive one. So it is already calibrated. Okay. And this one is the conductivity cell. It is the conductivity cell. And look at there. There is a platinum plates are there. The cell constant of this conductivity cell is determined. It is a ratio actually, cell constant. This is the distance between 2 parallel plate electrodes and divided by the area of the electrode, 2 electrodes. So thus the cell constant is determined, and this electrode should be immersed into the solution. Okay. Now I am going to start the experiment. So first of all, NaOH is taken in the burette. Already it is taken, and this is unknown HCl, and we have to prepare it out in a plastic beaker. Why plastic beaker? Because that cell, conductivity cell, should be immersed into that beaker, and we have to start the solution by that electrode, that conductivity cell. So if it is a glass beaker, maybe chances are broken of that particular one. That's why we are taking a plastic beaker. Now we have to put it out 10 ml of unknown HCl into the plastic beaker and start repeating. We will make up the volume. So 10 ml of HCl, unknown HCl is taken in a plastic beaker. Now 10 ml is not sufficient for immersing the electrode. That's why you have to add some distilled water. Approximately 60 ml, 550 to 60 ml. Okay, so it is there. Then you have to release the conductivity cell and you have to immerse the electrode. Okay, now bridge is connected. Now before going to start the titration, we have to count the drop in 1 ml because drop count is necessary because whatever graph we are plotting at along x-axis we are taking number of drops of energy. So that drop should be converted into volume. That's why we have to calculate, we have to determine in 1 ml. In a particular fluid in 1 ml, say 0 to 1 or 1 to 2, we have to determine how many drops of energy is there. We have to count it. Now see the figure, we have to count it. Okay. So in 1 ml, we have to count it. Say it is coming 20 drop. So in 1 ml it is coming 20 drop. Then we can very easily determine volume of 1 drop. That is 1 by 20 ml. Okay. So now whatever flow rate is there, don't stop the stopper. That flow rate should be maintained. Now the process is like this. Initially you have to take the reading. Then we have to add gradually or uniformly 3 drops of NaOH into that solution. And you have to stir it. Now in this conductivity meter, that middle knob is situated at the conductivity mode. So no need to changing the mode. Already it is situated at the conductivity mode. It will automatically show after adding the NaOH. After stirring, it will show the conductance value. Okay, no need to change the knob. Okay. So initially we have to check the conductance because only HCl is there. Then we have to add, taking the reading, we have to add 3 drops uniformly and stir it, and you see the changing of the conductance. Okay. Now first of all it will show like 0.4. This is the starting process, clockwise and anti-clockwise. And it will show 0.4. Okay. Then we have to add, you have to write down, note down in a copy. 1, 3 drops of NaOH, and we have to stir it gently. Look at the reading. It is start decreasing. 0.38. At the beginning it is 0.4. It is higher conductance value for H plus ion. Then it is start decreasing. So again you have to add 3 drops. Again stirring and see the reading is decreasing. So in that way, if you add 3 drops uniformly, you will see the reading is decreasing. Okay, now see what happens. 0.16. Look, again it starts increasing. It is at 0.14, then after adding 3 dots, it is 0.16. Okay, so it is start increasing. So in that way, if you do the titration, and it will the conductance value is start increasing. Okay, so in that way you have to take at least 14 to 15 reading. That means if you start from, say, initial reading is 0.4, so within that region, like 0.4 or above 0.4, if it is there, that means if you take 14 or 15 reading, you will see the result. Okay, then you have to write down that reading in a tabular form. The table is there. Then you have to plot the graph. So this is the experimental part. I think all of you understood that, and now you understand how to operate the digital conductivity meter. Okay. Now the next part, we explain the graph and resultant calculation. Okay. Now this is the last step of the conductometric titration. In this step, I am going to discuss about the result and calculation, and also I will explain the graph. Now suppose this is the table, whatever reading you got. So suppose this is the table, drops of element and conductance value. So first of all, you see the table. You see in 0 drops, this is the conductance maybe 0.43, which is higher conductance for H plus ion. Then it is whenever we start adding the NaOH from the burette, it is start decreasing, and it will decreasing. So up to that it is decreasing. Okay, at 18 drops. Then in 21 drops, it is again start increasing. Okay, that means in that region, maybe the nucleation point is there or any point is there. That means in that part, H2 is formed, so there is no H plus. So further adding of NaOH for H minus, again the conductances start increasing. Start increasing in that manner. Now if we take that reading and we have to plot the graph. Now the nature of graph, which is already mentioned, you will see V-shaped curve is there. V-like shape of the curve is there for conductometric titration. Strong acid versus strong base titration. Now along x-axis we are taking number of drops of NaOH, and along x-axis conductance in millisiemens. Okay. Now look at the graph. At the beginning, there is only HCl acids are there in the conical beaker, so the conductance is much higher. Why? Because of the H plus ion. Because H plus is a very small ion, very movable ion. Mobility is much higher, so that's why conductance is in higher range. Now, whenever we add dropwise NaOH, that means that Na plus is replaced by H plus. Now, Na plus is a less movable ion, so that's why conductance start decreasing. So it will show in the graph also it is decreasing. And whenever at the nucleation point, this is the nucleation point. At that nucleation point, what happened? H2 is formed. H plus will bind up with OH minus, and H2 is formed. So there is no H plus for replacing Na plus, because further we are adding NaOH uniformly. So there is no H plus for replacing Na plus. So then for OH minus, which is also a movable ion, again the conductance value start increasing, as you show in the table also. They will indicate in the graph also, again it start increasing up to that. Okay. Now from that intersection is the nucleation point. If we draw a perpendicular line to x-axis like this, it will consider the end point. Okay, so from the graph, we will get the endpoint. Suppose it is 20.8. So maybe whenever you plot the graph by yourself, maybe it is different. So whatever value is there, that is your endpoint. Okay. Now go to the calculation part. So from the graph, what we got? From the graph we got say 20.8 drops of NaOH, which is required to neutralize your HCl. Okay. So from the graph we are getting number of how many drops of NaOH, that is 20.8, which is required to neutralize the HCl. Okay. Now the calculation is done because if you remember the aim, we have to determine the unknown strength of HCl by standardized NaOH through conductometrically. So using the formula V1S1 V2S2, the normality equation, where V1 is the volume of NaOH, S1 strength of NaOH. Now the strength of NaOH which is standardized is given, that is 0.1 normal, say. Now V2 volume of HCl, that means whatever we have prepared out, 10 ml, and S2 you have to calculate. Now the V1 part that is volume of NaOH, I will get the volume, because from the graph we are not getting the volume. From the graph we are getting the drops, how many drops of NaOH, that is 20.8. Now remember, drop count is there, drop count one method before starting. So we will already determine in 20 drops, in 1 ml 20 drop is coming in a particular bullet. So volume of 1 drop we know. Volume of 1 drop is 1 by 20 ml. Okay. Now if we multiply that 1 by 20 with that 20.8 whatever is coming from the graph, then we will get V1, isn't it? So 20.8 into 1 by 20, that is the V1 volume of NaOH. Then this is strength of NaOH 0.1, and this is the volume of HCl. So after calculation, we will get 0.014 normal. That is the strength of unknown HCl. Okay, so this is the calculation part. So we will calculate the unknown strength of HCl by this. Okay, and this is the graph, nature of graph I already explained. So I think this is all about the conductometric titration experiment, and I think all the students understood the method. Okay, and okay, this is all about the experiment. So thank you students, see you in the next class.